All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're unpacking a really messy, often painful reality. What does courage actually cost in the modern world? We're going to explore a fascinating set of contemporary stories inspired by the profound themes in Colson Whitehead's acclaimed novel, The Nickel Boys. But instead of looking backwards at history, these stories drag those heavy, incredibly complicated themes right into our everyday lives. We're going to see how these dynamics play out in places we all know: high schools, hospitals, and even our own living rooms.
This right here is the profound question anchoring our entire journey today. It really forces us to look way beyond those simplistic childhood ideas of heroism, doesn't it? We're taught from a very young age that if you just tell the truth, everything works out perfectly. The truth sets you free, right? Well, real life doesn't always play by those rules. Sometimes stepping up and doing the right thing makes your life infinitely more complicated. And the fallout? It can be absolutely devastating for everyone involved. And that tension brings us to this central philosophical conflict, derived straight from Whitehead's original work. It pits moral idealism directly against the gritty, everyday need for survival. On one side, you have the mindset of Elwood. He believes with his whole heart that the truth simply must be spoken, no matter the circumstances, no matter who is standing in the way. But then you have Turner. Turner understands that mere survival often requires knowing exactly when the truth can get you hurt. It's this constant, agonizing push and pull between how we want the world to work and how the world actually functions when power is on the line. Here is a quick look at how we'll be exploring this today. We've got The Boy Who Recorded, The Nurse in Room 417, Living Under a Ghost, and finally, The Unfinished Story. Section 1. The Boy Who Recorded. Let's start in a high school locker room. We meet a teenager named Noah. Noah's a varsity athlete, and his coach, Coach Mercer, is basically a surrogate father to him. Mercer buys some cleats, drives him home, treats him like a son. But one afternoon, Noah accidentally witnesses Coach Mercer cornering a 14-year-old freshman named Owen. Mercer violently shoves the kid against the lockers. Acting on pure instinct, Noah secretly records 43 seconds of this abuse on his phone. He thinks, "I've got the evidence, I can fix this." But when he confronts the victim, Owen doesn't want justice. He begs Noah to stay silent, saying, "Please don't ruin this for me," because Mercer promised him a starting spot next year. Noah is completely paralyzed. Doing the right things suddenly feels like betraying a vulnerable kid who just wants to play, while simultaneously betraying the mentor who helped him succeed. Ultimately, Noah decides to quietly take the video to an assistant principal he trusts, Mr. Graham. Graham tells Noah, "You did the right thing," asks him to upload the video to a secure school portal, and promises he'll handle it internally. But 2 days later, Noah checks the portal. The folder is completely empty. The video is just gone. When Noah asks about it, Graham plays dumb and coldly warns him to be careful about making accusations. And here is the crucial realization. It is absolutely terrifying how fast an institution will protect itself. Noah realizes the adults weren't surprised by the video at all. They were just managing the fallout to protect the school's pristine reputation. So how does Noah respond? He digs into old school forums and discovers this isn't even the first time Mercer's been protected. Noah secretly makes multiple hard drives, copying the video, the upload dates, the old complaints, and he hides them. He learns a very harsh Turner-esque lesson here. Exposing the truth, that's literally only step one. Sometimes true courage means making absolutely sure the truth is still there tomorrow by diligently safeguarding the evidence against the very people who want to erase it. Section 2. The Nurse in Room 417. Now, let's shift to a high-stakes hospital environment. It's 2:13 in the morning. An overworked nurse named Maya Chen answers a call button from a 78-year-old patient, Eleanor Walsh. Maya is completely exhausted from consecutive night shifts. She's financially stressed with a new baby at home. A complicated confrontation is the last thing she needs. But Eleanor suspects something went terribly wrong during a recent procedure performed by Dr. Cole. Now, Dr. Cole is a highly respected, powerful surgeon. He even pulled strings to help Maya's own baby when she was sick. But then Eleanor looks right at Maya and asks this devastating question. "If I were your mother, would you believe me?" Maya is suddenly trapped in a terrifying position between a vulnerable patient and a powerful doctor who essentially holds her career in his hands. Maya decides to quietly dig into the hospital's internal servers, and the digital audit history reveals a chilling cover-up. She finds that Dr. Cole's post-op notes have been retroactively changed. The original system log said unexpected event during procedure, but hours later, it was quietly smoothed over to read transient expected response. The clinical language was deliberately sanitized to protect his pristine surgical record. And when Maya gently asks her manager about this, she is immediately shut down and warned that accusations have consequences. Just like the school, the hospital administration instantly closes ranks around their star doctor, leaving Maya totally isolated.
Tragically, before anything can be done, Eleanor passes away from complications. The guilt just eats at Maya. She knows she waited too long out of fear for her own livelihood, but she refuses to let it happen to anyone else. She searches other charts of Dr. Cole's patients and finds alarming patterns of amended dosages and hidden notes. Learning from the silence of her superiors, Maya completely bypasses her manager. She physically prints the audit history on paper so it can literally never be digitally erased and submits an independent report entirely outside the hospital's internal chain of command, straight to a medical board. The massive takeaway from Maya here is that quietly believing a victim is entirely meaningless if you don't possess the courage to actually risk your own safety to act on it. She believed Eleanor from the start, for sure, but belief without tangible action? That's just another form of complicity. Room 417 taught her exactly what convenience and self-protection can truly cost someone else when you choose to look the other way.
Section 3. Living under a ghost.
Sometimes the betrayal isn't institutional at all. It's deeply personal. Let me introduce you to Marcus Hale. Marcus is an identical twin, but he's been living a solo life for almost 30 years. He spent decades building this massive, highly successful nonprofit called the Daniel Hale Foundation. When Marcus and his brother Daniel were 17, Daniel boldly stepped between Marcus and their violently abusive father during a rage. Daniel died protecting him. Ever since that day, Marcus has lived his entire life as a walking memorial to his brother. Daniel's face is plastered all over the foundation's walls. His name is the centerpiece of every speech. Marcus genuinely believes that surviving means he owes his entire existence to the boy who didn't.
But this tension finally breaks on their birthday. Marcus has a complete breakdown at the cemetery. He admits to Daniel's gravestone that he feels like he effectively stole his brother's life. He literally says, "I got your life, you should have been the one." Well, his wife, Leah, secretly hears this confession. Later, she confronts him with this devastating reality check. She tells Marcus she is losing him to someone who has been dead longer than she's even known him. She points out that Marcus is exhausting himself trying to live enough for two separate people, and in the agonizing process, he is completely erasing his own life and their marriage. So, against the wishes of his board and major donors, Marcus makes an incredibly painful decision. He finally separates his brother's memory from his own identity. He strips his dead twin's name from the foundation, renaming it the Open Door Project. He takes down all those massive memorial signs in the lobby. He learns a profound lesson about survivor's guilt. Honoring someone who sacrificed everything for you does not require surrendering your own life to their ghost. It means continuing the good work, absolutely, but allowing Daniel to just be a brother again, rather than a heavy monument he has to carry on his back every single day. Section 4. The Unfinished Story. So we've seen that truth, institutional courage, and personal healing are remarkably messy things. But to fully understand this thematic journey, we've only scratched the surface. We've done a deep dive into the first 3 topics, but there are 2 vital pieces remaining in the source material that you absolutely need to explore. Story 4 is a haunting look at a church discovering a dark past and how institutions weaponize forgiveness to silence victims. And Story 5 is a beautiful narrative about an older survivor discovering freedom just by leaving a door unlocked. To read the rest of these modern stories and find out exactly how these unresolved themes conclude, I highly encourage you to visit imaginarytalks.com/Nickelboys Modern Stories, Truth, Trauma, Hope. Go read those final 2 stories to see how Rachel confronts her old pastor and how Raymond finally makes peace with his past. Until you do read those final chapters, I want to leave you with a provocative thought to challenge how you view your own history. Whether you're dealing with the weight of institutional secrets or the ghosts we all carry around in our own minds, how much of your future should the past be allowed to own? Think about that as you navigate your own messy realities. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today, and keep asking the hard questions.